Welcome to The Narrative. In today's video, we'll be talking about an international student who is a citizen of Nigeria. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Faith Ojone, and on this channel I talk about ways you can travel abroad and settle abroad. I share resources with you on how you can get started, and I share latest updates concerning the UK, how you can move and settle in the UK, and I also share story time called The Narrative. So if these are the kind of content that interests you, do hit the subscribe button down below, turn on your notification bell so you do not miss any of my videos. Without saying so much, let's get started. So this woman was born on September 25th, 1963, and she's a citizen of Nigeria. After her husband passed away in 1999, she lived alone in Nigeria. But in 2004, she managed to come to the United Kingdom by winning a scholarship from the Ford Foundation, despite strong competition, and obtained permission to enter as a student to pursue a degree. Shortly after arriving in the UK to start her studies, she was diagnosed with advanced kidney failure. She had no knowledge of this potentially life-threatening illness or even that she was sick until after she arrived in the UK. This is not surprising because the symptoms of this condition are often not noticeable. Her condition was discovered during a routine medical examination in the UK. So to stay alive, she needed to undergo dialysis, which was provided at a hospital in Leeds. Her permission to stay in the UK was gradually extended, and despite having to undergo dialysis multiple times a week, she graduated in 2008. Although she was granted a temporary extension to attend her graduation ceremony, all subsequent applications to extend her stay in the UK were rejected. And you know, when you come on a scholarship, you have to go back. That's the rule. So this led to complicated and ongoing process of submitting additional information, facing refusal, and making further appeals both before a tribunal and through a judiciary review. So in July 2009, she received a kidney transplant and now requires regular monitoring and medication to ensure that the transplant is not rejected. It is crucial to carefully control the level of medication in her body, as too much can be deadly. So the health practitioner wanted to monitor her, and they wanted her to stay in the UK while they do that. Monitoring is necessary because her immune system is weakened by medication to prevent organ rejection, making her particularly vulnerable to infection. Therefore, suitable and safe living conditions are essential for her ongoing health condition. While she stays in United Kingdom, her life expectancy and quality of life will be normal. The person responsible for responding to her case says that she wouldn't be able to get treatment in Nigeria and would die within few weeks if the court deported her. So this is not because Nigeria does not have appropriate treatment and living condition, but because she wouldn't be able to afford to pay for them. So she appealed to the first tier tribunal against the decision to remove her from the UK, which came with unsuccessful application to extend her stay. The main question is that the appeal was straightforward about very important things. Does the refusal to grant her permission to stay, knowing that she would die shortly after being removed from the UK, violate her rights to have her private life respected as protected by Article 8 of the European Convention on Human Rights? You know, the UK is big on human rights. There are some situations or circumstances in the UK that you might go through that the government under the European Convention on Human Rights, that you would be granted stay to remain in the UK. I mean, they're not that mean, you know. The UK government is not that mean. So based on your situation, if your situation should fall under the European Convention on Human Rights, sort of exempt from any harsh decision to remove you from the UK, I think. So most of this is like family life. Like if there's any reason that if they are taking you out of the UK to affect your children who was born here or family, they will consider it, okay? But after assessing her situation, which I really feel bad for, they felt that this does not fall under the European Convention on Human Rights, or it is a reasonable interference with the rights, considering that she is not a citizen of the country and had initially been granted entry for a temporary purpose that has now ended. So at the heart of this question lies a specific legal issue. On what ground can someone succeed in such circumstances under the Article 8 of the European Convention on Human Rights? The woman claimed that she relies on the UK for her medical treatment, that this may not be available in her home country, Nigeria. But according to the test, so they sort of assessed Nigeria health system, and they said according to the assessment that the lady would not be protected by the European Convention on Human Rights unless her private or family life established in the UK has an impact on her medical prognosis. So let's say, for example, she had family in the UK, maybe her mother, her sister, or her siblings were in the UK, and this was her situation. Because all her family's, her support system are here, they will not send her back to Nigeria. But again, they said she had no one here. She does not have a family in the UK, and she came on a scholarship which has ended, so she will have more support and help in Nigeria compared to the UK, because in Nigeria she has a family to rely on, but in the UK she has no one. So they are not considering her request to remain in the UK. This approach reflects the well-established principle that the lady cannot succeed simply because she cannot access medical treatment in her home country if it's available elsewhere. So it was acknowledged that she had established a private life in the UK. Removing her would undermine the organ transplant system. But the respondent representative admitted that she couldn't afford the treatment in Nigeria, and he argued that the difference in care in Nigeria is not valid reason to allow her to stay in the UK. According to the appeal, they said that there is physical and emotional support available from family members in Nigeria, so it was deemed proportionate to remove her as her case did not meet the high threshold requirements in medical cases. The person representing her said that she wouldn't be able to afford the treatment in Nigeria and would die. The court's position on this case is that the lady, who had worked in a public sector in Nigeria before coming to the UK, had obtained a degree, would be well suited to find a good, well-paying employment upon returning to Nigeria, which will enable her to afford a life-sustaining medical treatment. I mean, these people don't know the rate of unemployment in Nigeria, like, because why would you assume because she came to the UK to do her master's degree and because she was previously working, she would just go back to Nigeria? And with the health condition, she has a health condition, she will be able to land a job in Nigeria. They even put well-paying jobs. Like, they need to do their research. Now well-paying jobs, like how much is well-paying that she could afford to take care of her health? It's not malaria, kidney transplant, they have to maintain it. Like, they argue that she has 3 siblings in Nigeria, 2 of them which live in rural areas and other one that lives in the city, so like that she can stay with her sisters and all of that. And because of all these reasons, they've put everything into account, they are not going to grant her permission to remain in the UK, and they dismissed her case. So she is on her way back to Nigeria. I understand that her case might not meet the high threshold for the European Convention on Human Rights. She was right, she's not going to get the kind of medical treatment that she's getting in the UK, in Nigeria. It's not like there are no hospitals, but it's, how can she afford it? Like, do you know how much it is? With her health condition, how is she even going to get a job? Like, anyway, but again, let's not forget the fact that the UK really helped her. She got a kidney transplant. I mean, they really helped to keep her alive. They extended her visa multiple times because of her medical issue, and she had a kidney transplant. And you know that most times in the UK, I don't know, it's not all treatment though, some treatments are really free in the UK, but not all. But anyway, this case was dismissed and she was sent back home. So I mean, this is the end of the narrative. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think the decision was harsh? Because if I'm to give my own opinion, I'll say yeah, I think it was harsh. They should not just let her stay in the UK. The UK would better favor her than Nigeria. And with all their investigation they did about medical centers in Nigeria and job opportunity in Nigeria, I think they didn't do their research well, because they should know that there are not a lot of job opportunities in Nigeria, and because she has not stayed in Nigeria for long, going back to Nigeria, she's going to struggle, you know. Anyway, let me hear your thoughts and your opinion in the comment section, and guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye.